MOM Radio and Pipe Bomb Radio present Not Your Mama's Radio Show with your hosts, former WWE superstars Oscar, Sir Mo, and Dreamy Mimi.
They're back.
Welcome, everybody, to Not Your Mama's Radio Show. Not sure where the guys are at. They were supposed to call in here, so I'm thinking I may have to call them. Not sure exactly. If I have to, that's not an issue. But why don't I just give them a call and not fiddle faddle anymore here? So I just say fiddle faddle. Wow. Bear with me a moment, guys. I'm going to try to give Oscar a call here. See what we can do to get this show on the road. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our little intro to the show tonight. Trying to keep it in the festivities of Halloween, of course. So, let's give it a shot. Here we go. Oh, I think he's actually calling in. Oh, hang that up. There we go. Oscar, is that you, man?
Yeah, what's happening, man?
I was just about to call you. I'm like, uh-oh, everybody forgot. Didn't know what was going on. I didn't see nobody. I was like, uh-oh, I don't want to be a one-man show tonight.
No, the cavalry is arrived. How are you, man?
I know, right? I'm good. It's been a very, very long week, but a very festive one. We got Halloween, and obviously, if you didn't hear the beginning of the show, we had a special Halloween version of it, and I think people got a kick out of it. But I've been good, man. How's things going with you?
Everything is fine. We don't need a guest tonight because we got so much to talk about, so much going on that it's going to take up the whole 2 hours, I think.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
But first, we always check in to see how you doing. How's the weight loss in the program coming?
Well, as of Monday, I am officially 140 pounds lighter.
All right.
10 pounds away from my goal of 150 by my birthday. My birthday's in about a little bit over a month. So I still got time.
Well, I am celebrating a birthday today.
Yes, you are, birthday boy.
Yep, and I am loving every minute of it.
I bet. How does it feel to be 30, man? How does it feel to be 30?
Man, that feels fantastic. I'm going to be 30 for a long time.
Oh, wait, I think it says on your Facebook you turned 36 today or yesterday.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, but the fact is, if only that were true.
Hey, well, you're only as old as you feel, man.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm 76 years old.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised you would say that. You stay pretty active, and I am. My question I want to ask you, and I've been waiting to ask you since I knew you were doing this, how did it go with DDP?
Well, that is a two-part answer, and when Dreamy is the show,
she's on the show now.
Well, that's a Dreamy Mimi question. She'll start, and then I'll finish because she said that she was going to get the DDP, and got the DDP. She did. Dreamy, hello, how are you, darling?
Hey, happy birthday, Oscar.
Well, thank you, dear.
How you doing, Felix?
Been good. I was a little unsure exactly about Oscar's birthday, but I think it is today. So, we're talking about the birthday boy and him being 36 years old today now.
Oh, okay. He's back down there with us, huh?
Right? So I was asking Oscar about the whole thing with DDP out in Georgia. I know that you and him are going down there to meet up with them, and I'm actually excited to find out how did it go.
Well, like you said, it's a two-part thing. I will say it went great, but the part that you're talking about didn't go. We got there, but some kind of way the guy was supposed to contact us. He did not. We were waiting on a call to let us know, basically the green light for us to go to the actual program at the Performance Center that next morning. So we never got the call. Not on top of that, though, Oscar was really sick that day. So he actually spent the entire day in the hotel room, other than us having to leave and go to the hospital for him to get checked out. So, he had a rough day that day. But when we got to the show on Saturday, when DDP got there, I waited, till his line went down and everything. And then I went up to him and I just talked to him for a while. And I told him that we were, wanting to get started with the program. And he's such a good guy, just a sweetheart. He was just so nice. And anyway, shot an email to him. He got right back to me and gave me instructions on what we have to do to get started with him. And then once we finish these first steps that he has us to go through, then he's going to give us a call, and then he'll work with us one-on-one.
Okay. So started off a little rough, but it turns out it ended up pretty good. So that's a good ending.
Yeah, it did. It really did. Yeah. Yep. I'm excited because Oscar's actually he seems to be, really ready for it, and I'm seeing him do little things to make, take steps towards what he's going to be doing, the changes that he's going to make. So I'm proud of him. I'm happy. I'm just looking forward to where this journey is going to take us as far as health-wise and just getting back on track.
And now I got to ask you guys, too, both you and Oscar can give your versions as well if you like. I know Oscar told me that you guys are going to go check out Jake Roberts' Resurrection, the new movie he made. Mimi, did you see it? And if so, what did you think about it?
I did not see it. I think Oscar, did you see it?
I did see, I caught half of it, and I had to leave, but what I did see was very powerful, very insightful, and it's a thing to where if Jake can turn his life around and get that kind of help, anybody could, and it inspired me to want to be better.
There you go. I like that. I could deal with that. They had it out here in California, too. I just couldn't afford to go. And it was going to be sold out anyway. So.
Oscar was saying the other day, he's like, why didn't Felix hit me up and get tickets for Raw the other night?
Yeah. Oh no, not Raw. For the pay-per-view. For
that's right.
Right there in the
Man, I couldn't afford that.
No, I mean, you could have bought some tickets.
What happened?
If you had spoken or said that you let us know that you wanted to go and that it was there, he would have gotten you tickets.
I didn't even think to ask because I you guys have been so busy. I didn't even want to seem like I was going to bug you guys about it.
No, it's not a bug, man. Your family. You got to let us know what you want to do.
Yeah, we really appreciate. Seriously, Felix, we really appreciate the way you help this show, run this show, and keep everything going on track, and the legacy page, and Oscar's Twitter, and just, it's like you got 8 arms, and it's like, yeah.
Well, I've been trying to help get him out there, but you know what? So I can't say that I'm doing it alone because Oscar and your good buddy Dan Marati's been blowing up your Twitter like nobody's business, and getting word out for you guys' new surprise that I know Oscar's going to talk about probably later in the show about a new project he's working on with Dan in the NWF. But yeah, I mean, we're trying to get word and get people out there to remember. Obviously the new generation era wasn't the greatest era, but it wasn't the worst era either.
Right.
A lot of good things came from that era, and a lot of people that are still around from that era are still doing things. And Oscar's definitely trying to get himself out there and get reacquainted with the fans, and hopefully fans want to remember him for what he brought. I mean, he was there for a short time, but he still made an impact because he did something that was unheard of at that time.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it was a thing, and I mean, I'm gonna get more into this, with the shoot DVD that I'm getting ready to do, and all of that stuff going on. But it was an interesting time in the business. I'll put it that way. And I mean, a lot of it's gonna be brought out, in the DVD that I'm gonna shoot, produced by Dan Marati. And I mean, I can't wait to talk about it. But I mean, yeah, it was a really interesting time with the WWF and with WWE, WWF at the time. But yeah, we're gonna get into it.
Well, what convinced you to want to do something like this, Oscar?
I'm sorry?
What convinced you to want to get into doing a DVD like this?
I mean, everybody else got their version. I mean, Mo didn't shoot DVD. Nelson, Mayhem, he really, went in when he did his. So I mean, it's just time to do it.
Okay, fair enough. All right. And by the way, you have some great perks on there for your DVD for those who take part in helping make it happen. Great perks, by the way. Did we lose you?
Hello? Right, Oscar?
Oscar? Is he there with you, Amy?
Let me go see what's going on.
Because I see he's still on the phone. I just don't hear him talking.
No, I am on the phone. I need y'all to carry the conversation for a minute. I'm trying my birthday present, which is a brand new headset that I'm trying to get online. So you guys bear with me for a minute.
Okay, that's fine.
Dreamy, you don't got to do your report right now, but please, the parts of Hell in a Cell you did see, what were your impressions of that?
All right. Yeah, there you go.
Look, honestly, I'm trying to remember all of it now, but I don't know. Ever since SummerSlam, I hold everything to that standard.
Yeah,
and it's kind of, right. So like just the one at the Madison Square Garden, all I could say was I went to SummerSlam because it was just such a disappointment compared to SummerSlam. Hell in a Cell wasn't as bad as the Gardens, I don't think, but again, it wasn't SummerSlam. I don't know. I'm hoping that they find some direction, start mixing things up a little bit. Some of these same old matches starting to get a little bit repetitive and just boring. And it's like, okay, we're just gonna see the same thing over. And I don't know what the heck they got going on with Bray Wyatt, but the Wyatt family is just no rhyme, no reason. It's always something. Like, Felix, how did you feel about them coming out and carrying out the Undertaker?
Yeah.
Beating him down and carrying him out.
You know, it gave this whole new this something special was going to happen, and you know, obviously the way it was leading up, it made people seem like, you know, as far as Brock and Taker's feud ending, it made it seem like something special was about to happen, but nobody expected the Wyatt family to come out. What do I think about it? Well, here's the thing is that I actually like it because
you did.
What I think. The reason I say that is because their build-up for WrestleMania was horrible. I mean, nothing against Bray Wyatt. He held that together on his own. But this time, Taker's healthy. He's around more often. His brother and him are reunited. And they're wondering who's going to team up with these guys. And I know they're going to do a big celebration for Taker's 25th anniversary with the company. And I think what better way to have a big main event traditional Survivor Series match than the Team Undertaker against Team Wyatt.
That makes sense now that you put it. No, now that you put it in perspective like that, that makes sense. But I guess my whole thing with it is I have an issue with the icons being put down. You know, like I still have an issue with Seth Rollins going over on Sting. That just did. So when they allowed the Wyatts to come out and beat down the Undertaker, I was like, okay, I'm not too happy about that. He's the Undertaker.
Exactly. And well, the thing with Sting, and that's disappointing because the Night of Champions, I want to get mad at Seth Rollins, but ultimately I can't. I can't get mad at him because these things do happen. And unfortunately, it was a freak accident that should have never happened. And what I say should have, he shouldn't have had to gone through the table. That him being thrown on the turnbuckle, well, like he normally would, he does that to a lot of people. And people are going to say, well, Sting is older now. His body can't take it. But Sting's in great shape. He's not in bad shape for a man that's pushing nearly 60. There were some unnecessary things that they were doing that they shouldn't have had to do. It just kept it simple. Now, I hope this doesn't mean that it's not Sting's last match. That's my ultimate concern.
I would love to see him
have one better WrestleMania moment than he had in Santa Clara against Triple H. That's my hope.
Oh, me too. Because, I mean, I just, even though, things happen, I just feel like there was a better way to, end that or break it up than what they did.
Agreed.
But, because, I mean, just like the fact that, Kane came out afterwards, and I'm just like, okay, they could have sent them out before, and it'd been a disqualification, but they didn't do that.
No. I think they were opting to put Kane into that match in some form to get after Rollins, or at least let Sting win it for one night and let Sheamus come out within like 10 minutes and defeat him. But that didn't happen either. I don't know where they had plans with Sting or what they were going to do with him, but ideas are floating around, although I don't believe this to happen. If it does happen, I'd love to see it. But let's go with Undertaker, Kane, Sting, and Finn Balor to take on the Wyatt family.
Okay.
I think that'd be a pretty interesting match if I do say so.
Well, that makes all the sense in the world because what they doing, I mean, this angle is obviously to lead to a Survivor Series main event. Now,
sure.
If they're smart, what they will do is they will leave it open-ended because a Wyatt Brothers of Destruction type situation would be a big WrestleMania draw as well. If it was me doing the booking,
I think so.
I would have waited to put them together at WrestleMania, period. But that's not to say that they can't start it at Survivor Series and then let it segue. But I would definitely use it for a WrestleMania situation.
Okay, I could see that.
Because because the Wyatt family Brothers of Destruction match is a long time coming. When the Wyatt first came in, Kane was the first victim. If you can go back and remember, Kane was the very first one that Bray Wyatt and them started, picking on. And I thought it was going to happen then, that Kane would have to bring in the Undertaker to equalize that situation, but that really never did happen. But now, and I honestly, it came as a shock to me, because when Lesnar went over on the Undertaker, I thought that was going to be it. I thought that was Undertaker. That was Thank You Taker. It's like that was his swan song, and that was it. But then they come out and they done breathe new life into the Undertaker. He got something else he got to take care of. So
right.
So it's gonna be interesting to see where they go with it. But I would not just let it be a Survivor Series thing and then let it end at that. They need to carry that all the way to WrestleMania, because that would be a top WrestleMania drawn match right there, with whatever else they planned for WrestleMania. But I would definitely carry it over there.
Okay. I could see that. I mean, now that the streak is pretty much done, it could be definitely a high-profile match and a way almost to keep fans engaged with the old school against the new school. Because I know Vince is going to do everything in his power to completely sell out that stadium, over 100,000 people. He's going to go for the world record. His ego is not going to let him take anything less.
I mean, I'll say one thing. Vince gets more and more ambitious every time I see him. I mean, I got to take my hat off. He will try it. Will they sell out AT&T Stadium? I wouldn't put it past them. It's a possibility. But in order to do that, they are going to have to pull out all the stops. They have to go all in on this one. I mean, there's no getting around it. You're going to have to, I don't know, you have to do a three-way dance with Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, and maybe the Hulk Hogan, and maybe resurrect a few people. I don't know, but they're gonna have to really make this the best WrestleMania. I mean, WrestleMania 50, when you live to see it, that's gonna be one thing. But WrestleMania 32 is gonna have to be that kind of caliber event. Because
they have talked about don't count the idea of Hulk Hogan not being a part of WrestleMania, because now that the racist thing has finally died down, and they've allowed people to mention his name, and his merchandise is back on the website, I wouldn't be surprised if Hogan has one more match at WrestleMania. I really would.
I mean, when it happened, I knew Hogan was going to be back by WrestleMania. I mean, I knew that. I mean, come on. I mean, you have to have the propriety that you're punishing somebody for something like that. I'll put it like this. Del Rio slapped the living shit out of somebody. That's the reason why he got suspended. And I would say the word suspended because he said he was fired, but who got the U.S. Not only is he back, he got the U.S. Band title.
And he's still able to do his independent shows as well. He's got a good deal because, let me quote somebody that you know pretty well, everybody's got a price, and he does too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Everybody got a price. So, I mean, it's just like this. It's the most forgiving company that I have ever seen in the history of my life. I mean, it's one of Mo's pet peeves. Alundra Blaze took the WWE Championship belt, and on WCW TV, she threw it in the trash can.
That
All right,
was the most
now
unpardonable sin.
You never thought that something like that was a slap in the mouth if I ever seen one. I mean, that was a complete slap in the face. Now, who got into the Hall of Fame just last year like none of this ever happened?
I know.
I mean, you know, it's you got people that done spoke out against the company, sued the company, pissed on the company, spit on the company. And, you know, it might take a while, but they're back on TV like nothing ever, like nothing ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, Del Rio physically attacking somebody in the back for making a racial comment. You know, it's the only workplace that I could think of where you physically beat somebody up and then wind up getting your job back. Because if you did it at Kodak or Microsoft or Yahoo or Target or Kmart or Walmart, not only is Walmart not going to take you back, but that incident is going to be stapled to every other job application you ever fill out. Okay? But at WWE, if it makes dollars, it makes sense, and all is forgiven because I don't care what nobody's saying. When it comes down to the Hispanic community, Alberto Del Rio is as big a draw as probably Rey Mysterio Jr. nowadays.
I agree, definitely.
Now, for whatever reason, Mysterio has stuck to his guns, and he's not back.
He doesn't need to come back. I'll be honest with you, Oscar. He's done. He just physically can't do it. His body is so beat up from years of abuse on it. How many knee surgeries has he had? I mean, not saying he can't get back in there and go, but that schedule itself is exhausting. If I were him, I wouldn't want it. He's done enough. That's just my
but see, one thing that I will tell you. And I agree with everything you just said. I mean, the physical toll is really demanding. The physical toll is really demanding, and anybody will tell you this. Not just the in-ring competition, not just the things you do in the ring and all the kind of stuff like that. That travel, and that unforgiving, unrelenting, we're not baseball, basketball, soccer, or hockey with a season, but keeping on going, that's the part right there that gets to you more than anything. Because I didn't have to do none of the stuff that other people did. Right? I'd be the first to admit that. All I had to do was go out there, rap every night, look cute, and get a paycheck. Every now and again, I had to do a move and I had to take a bump, but that was so far in between that didn't even bother me. But just like everybody else, after a while, I got burnt out. Why? Because you get to the point where the thought of getting on another plane, the thought of not sleeping in your bed, the thought of not seeing your kids, or whatever, all like this to everybody. And it was Shawn Michaels that told me that himself. You know, he was like, you know, it got to me. I had to take 4 months off. You know, you stick around long enough, it's going to get to you. And guess what? He was right. I remember where I was at. I was in what's my family hometown? Tampa, Florida, which was about 20 miles from the Gerards. The Gerards, they reside in half of Zephyrhills, Florida, which is 20 miles outside of Tampa. Half the Gerards are there. They got trailers out there. They got houses. They got everything. I was in that town, and I'm telling you, after I was done, the thought of getting on another plane, going to another town after that made me physically ill. I had been on the road for over a year, nonstop at the time, with a few days off here, a few days off there, or whatever. Mo and me were going down to Memphis that weekend to do a USWA show for Rolla, and when they asked me if I wanted to go, I was like, no. I'm spent. I took like a month off after that, and after a month, I was happy to be back, happy to go back and ready to recharge, but I needed that kind of time off. And it does that to everybody. So my point is, when it comes down to Mysterio, it's not just a matter of his knee or his back or his this or his that. That schedule, I don't care who you are, main roster today, old school, former talent back in the day, you're a human being. It takes its toll on you, I'm telling you. It gets to everybody.
Absolutely.
People think Vince McMahon wasn't on Vince wasn't on all them shows every night at every arena going nowhere.
I know.
Triple H and Stephanie, the only time they're on the road is a Monday Night Raw when they got to show up to be the authority or a pay-per-view. Any other time, they're at home in Connecticut getting a phone call finding out how much money they made that night.
Yeah.
That's how it worked. That's what Vince used to. Vince would be at home. When they found out the gate, the minute they found out how much that house was, and by that house, I mean, let's say Madison Square Garden, right? Tickets sold, this, that, and the other. Madison Square Garden is a $220,000 house. There wasn't really no cell phones at that time. This is when cell phones are brand new. Dave Hebner, who was the agent at the time, get on that payphone, call Vince at home, tell him $220,000 and hang up the phone. Because Vince wanted to know. He was busy writing it down. Cha-ching. Had his cash register by the phone, just, adding up his money. I mean, you didn't see Vince at no damn house shows. You seen him at TV. You seen them at a pay-per-view, but they're not on the road like that. That was everybody else. And that's how it is today. Vince and Paul Levesque and Stephanie McMahon, they ain't coming to Chicago December 27th for no house show. For what? So, I mean, therein lies the point. All the rest of us, we the ones that's out on the road like that, so whether you're a Rey Mysterio or anybody else, it's gonna get to you. It's gonna tax you eventually. You stay in there long enough. It's gonna take its toll. But anyway, shifting gears, superstars are wrestling the convention. Dreamy, besides being in a barn, how did you enjoy that convention?
You said besides what?
Being in a barn.
That was the big challenge for me. It was flies everywhere, but I thought they did a good job as far as getting everybody set up and organized and everything. The show I thought was nice. Like I said, they had everything really well organized, even like with the tickets, the seating, and everything like that. So I thought it was a pretty good show.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and it was really, really, when you go to those things, for me, the nicest thing is when you get to see a lot of the people that you just haven't seen in a long time. I got to share a table with my buddy, Marty Jannetty, who I worked with during my tenure there, and I haven't seen Marty in maybe 15 years. And we got to reminiscing and talking and, sharing stories and, and the enjoyment of it. And then I got to do an in-ring angle with Ron Simmons, who I've never worked with. So those two things for me were the highlight. And it was always good to see Razor, who I've been seeing a lot. I mean, we've been on the same convention schedule, ever since last year. and it's always good to see him. And, to get more in-depth in the story, Felix is responsible for my weight loss and my road to better health. I attribute to you, Felix, for a few reasons. Number one, you're an inspiration to what you're doing. Number one, I saw how big you was, and how we've been along for your journey, and we are proud and impressed. And you got us thinking that we can do it. You can do it. We can do anything. But even more than that, over a year ago, you had suggested, the DDP yoga for me, and that always stuck in my mind. You all kept on reminding me, and now it's starting to come to fruition. I spoke to Diamond Dallas right after Mimi did, and Diamond Dallas told me that there was a guy that was 600 pounds, and he was like, the guy is down to like 280 now.
Yeah.
Another guy that was 300, he's down to 1-something now. And then he was like, you got to be serious. You got to want to do what I say and everything. So Dreamy sent the initial email. He emailed right back and lovingly said, that he gets a lot of requests. He usually don't get back to people too fast, but he respected who I was, everything like that, so he got right back to me. Now I got a second email from his assistant and listed 6 steps that I have to accomplish in order for Dallas to send me the materials that I have to get. So I'm saying this to say that it's in motion. I got to take 6 pictures of the weight that I am now. I got to watch a couple of videos, and I got to do a couple of things. But we're, and I have a big dinner banquet in Boston that we're going to be attending this week. We'll be out of town. But as soon as I get back, I'm getting right into these emails. I'm going to have clarification of, what it all means and what I have to do. And then I'm going to complete those steps. And then once I do, I'm going to be on the journey with Diamond Dallas Page. And this time next year, I should be smaller than you. So, but I want to thank you personally because you suggested it. Dallas and I have connected. And as he said in his email, we are going to take this journey together. So God bless. I thank God for sending you in my life like that. Thank you for suggesting it. I took your suggestion. I've hooked up with Paige, and we finna get this thing going.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm definitely glad to hear it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Another thing is, like with you, Felix, you don't realize how much you inspire other people because, honestly, I think that you should do a DVD or a video or something about your journey because it's so many times people that are heavy, that are really heavy, they feel like I'm too far gone. I can't do it. I can't push myself. I can't walk down the street. So how can I exercise? I'm not going to be able to change these bad habits. I'm not, they just feel defeated. So when you see, because a lot of times you see all these little weight loss things and workout things, and then the person that they call heavy is not really heavy. You're looking at them like, okay, will you put some real fat people on these videos to let me know that I can actually attain this or actually do this? No, seriously. They put people on there that's like, average weight. And it's like, so the thing is when you see someone that is really heavy and that has taken charge of things and said, I can do this and made changes. That's why I love the show Extreme Makeover, the Weight Loss Edition.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that one, Felix?
I watch it every season.
Oh, okay, I love it. And that's the reason why I love that one is because it shows people that are actually really overweight and shows their journey and shows that they, if you just push through, it's going to hurt, it's not going to feel good, it's not going to be easy, but you can do it. Because, like I said, so many times when people get to a certain weight or past a certain weight, they feel like they can't, there's no way for them to get back on track.
It's very true. I mean, in most cases, it took me a long time, and I'll be honest with you, I think I even told you guys, I'm not sure if I did, I'm thinking I did, back in 2009 all the way up until about 2014, I actually auditioned for Biggest Loser, for
you told me
Extreme
that.
Weight Loss, and I never made it, 5 straight years. And it still took me a little while longer to make it and decide that I need to make that step. And people kept, pushing me and encouraging me to do something, because I obviously seen how heavy I got. And like you said, that was a mentality I had. I didn't think I could do it. I didn't feel like I could do it. I feel like I was already too far along. I was close to 500 pounds and just a miserable mess. And getting started, I would have never anticipated it going as good as it's gone. Could I have lost more? Sure, but you know what? That's why we all have our own journey. Everybody has their own specific journey. Some are going to lose more. Some are going to lose less. Some are going to go at a good pace. Honestly, I feel like I've gone at a really good pace. Not too much, not too little.
Right, exactly. It's a healthy pace.
Yeah, I think so. And every day it's funny because the whole time I've been doing this, people continually hear about what I've done, and I haven't really talked. I don't talk to anybody. I go into the gym. I go and get my workout. Go home and go about my business. I don't really get involved with the BS drama that goes on in gyms sometimes. I just try to stay out of it, and I'm just me. And then people will start to add me and say, I inspire them. That I've even had people that are friends of mine from years ago, don't even live here anymore, talking about I inspire them to want to go out there and try things that they're too afraid to try, whether it be weight loss or whether it be their fear of talking in public or whatever. And did I expect it? Did I expect it? No. Am I blessed that I could do it? Sure, absolutely. I just never would have anticipated that anybody would have cared as much as they apparently do to see what I've done so far. All I've been trying to do is make me a better version of myself. That's it.
But in the process, you're making other people realize that they can be a better version of themselves, that it's attainable.
That's true. That's true. I'll believe that.
I'm proud of you and happy for you and all that stuff. So.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I know you guys have been watching since the last time you all saw me out there, and when we went to go see Lucha Underground, I definitely changed a lot since then. So, I mean, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm much closer than I was since the last time you saw me.
Right, definitely.
Okay, do me a favor. I am testing my birthday present. How well can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Fine.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, well, I'm going to tell you that I love you because I am testing out my new headphones, and if you could hear me fine, it is a far cry from the ones you used to complain about when
oh my God. Silly. Remember the headphones where we heard all of the and it sounded like water and just oh my God, those things were terrible.
I didn't even know what that was. I didn't realize that was a headset.
Yeah, it was a stupid headset.
I mean, I hear you guys crystal clear. You guys
and we hear you crystal clear.
I am in heaven right now.
Good.
I feel like a real radio guy now.
All right. All we need is our own little studio.
Yeah, now, speaking of radio guy, I do want to make an announcement before we're gonna go to we're gonna go to commercial for the WWE report. I'm gonna make this announcement again. Not Your Mama's Radio. We are a network now. We have filmed our first couple of pilots for our television season to debut early 2016. Watch out for it, Not Your Mama's TV. And also, Friday the 13th, November 13th, executive produced by Pipe Bomb Radio and Not Your Mama's Radio Show. It's going to be the debut show of Dr. David Reese, our friend Dr. Dave. Conversations with Dr. Dave will be debuting on the Pipe Bomb Radio Network Friday, November 13th. Executive produced by us, his friends, here at Not Your Mama's Radio Network. He's not going to be doing comedy or fun stuff, He's going to be doing informative things, the stuff that we need to know about, delving into the psychology of man. You know, not just wrestling and sports, but just why we are who we are, where we come from, why we think the way we think. We are actually going to get the insight from a real psychiatrist, our friend Dr. Dave, and maybe we're all going to learn something. And maybe, just maybe, excuse me, we'll be better people. We'll be better people because of it. So Friday the 13th, Conversations with Dr. Dave, debuted on the Pipe Bomb Radio Network, executive produced by his friends here at Not Your Mama's Radio Network. All right, fellas, we're going to break the commercial and Dreamy Nini's going to come back. We've already been talking about Hell in a Cell and our hopes and dreams for WrestleMania 32, but we're going to get more into the WWE report as SmackDown is on TV live. We'll be right back.
I can be anyone right now, no matter who it is.
Nobody in the world gets this opportunity.
Nobody's guaranteed anything here.
Every person in this room.
It's not a job, it's a lifestyle.
This Wednesday.
This is what I was born to do. This is what I love.
So much on the line.
I'm living proof that if you have a dream and you want to chase it,
Clothesline and Cruz! Wow. Cruz is your new number one contender!
you can accomplish whatever you set out to do.
The future is here! He's been in NXT, he has been on fire. Apollo Crews stayed the course.
It takes guts to chase a dream.
And that course has now warranted him an opportunity to challenge Finn Balor for the NXT Championship.
NXT, this Wednesday, 8, 7 Central on WWE Network.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there, live.
Wrestling fans from around the corner and around the world, get ready for the Oscar of Men on a Mission studio shoot interview. It'll be the most in-depth look ever at the WWF New Generation era in the mid-1990s. The end of Hulkamania in the steroid scandal rushed in the era of Bret the Hitman Hart, The Undertaker, The Click, Shawn Michaels, Diesel, Razor Ramon, and the 1-2-3 Kid. You had Owen Hart, the British Bulldog, Yokozuna, and so many more. Hear all of the insider stories on every superstar, every pay-per-view, every behind-the-scenes story. You can be involved by joining our Indiegogo campaign, where you not only can support this DVD production, but get great perks in return, such as the official DVD this holiday season, autographs, T-shirts, lunches, personalized wraps from Oscar, tons of other merchandise, and the opportunity to join us in studio live this Monday, November the 1st. The Attitude Era has been covered ad nauseum. Let's dive into a period where WWE was struggling to rebrand itself and recover its image from the scandals in '92. This, fans, is going to be a good one. We implore you to join us live. Hear it from the horse's mouth from a man that was with WWE for 3 years. Please share this campaign with your friends and fellow fans. Then head on over to our Indiegogo campaign and the BostonWrestling.com super site. If you're in the Boston area, please join us this Monday night. You'll remember this one forever.
Once again, it's time to take a look back at what we saw on Monday Night Raw. Not Your Mama's Radio Show presents The Raw Report with Dreamy Mimi.
This is your WWE report for October 29, 2015. Del Rio is back and not without a top spot. Alberto Del Rio has relieved John Cena of the United States Championship. For his first match back, he took on John Cena for the U.S. title and came out with the win. Reigns emerged from Hell victorious. In the Hell in a Cell matchup between Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns was filled with ladders, chairs, and kendo sticks. And after both men's bodies took extreme punishment, Roman Reigns clinched a win by pinfall. The New Day versus the Dudley Boys. The New Day minus Xavier Woods would defend their tag team title against the Dudleys. New Day fared pretty well with the underhanded games they played. Even though they were down one man, they missed no opportunity to get in a dirty hit whenever the ref wasn't looking. In the end, the schemes worked as the New Day held on to the championship. And speaking of holding on to titles, our WWE World Champ has done just that. Seth Rollins had to defend his title against the Demon Kane, and in an uninspired, unreal match, Seth walked out the winner. And for the main event, Brock Lesnar took on The Undertaker. In an all-out brawl, the two men pummeled each other bloody. It was the Beast who took the win, but it was not over there. The Wyatts came out and surrounded the dead man like a pack of wolves around roadkill. Once they beat him even more, they carried him out funeral style. Now, on Monday Night Raw was all about Seth Rollins. The Authority came out to praise Rollins for hanging on to the title throughout all of his challenges. They set in place 4 matches: Roman Reigns versus Kofi Kingston, Kevin Owens versus Cesaro, Alberto Del Rio versus Neville, and Big E versus Dolph Ziggler. The winners of each would be in a fatal 4-way to determine who would be the number 1 contender for the WWE World title at Survivor Series. Roman Reigns would come out on top. He will face Rollins at Survivor Series. Now let's get back to the Wyatts. After his victory over Bray, it seems Reigns no longer exists in the realm of the so-called Eater of Worlds. In an instant, he has turned his sick attention to none other than the Brothers of Destruction, Undertaker and Kane. After The Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar, the Wyatts jumped Taker and carried him out Roman style to the back of the arena. The next night, Kane attempted vengeance for this shameful deed, but met the same fate as his brother. This, indeed, is a setup for Survivor Series main event and possible segue into WrestleMania main event as well. This WWE report was brought to you by Glenn Kelly Real Estate. Nobody does it like Glenn Kelly in Beechwood, New Jersey.
All right, so let us get into what sense can anybody, I'm trying to figure out what is Bray Wyatt's deal? I mean, he just wrapped up a program with Roman Reigns. Anybody but you, Roman, anybody but you. Roman goes over on Bray, and then out of nowhere, for no reason that I could see, as soon as the Undertaker gets beaten by Brock Lesnar, he is now thrust in a program with the Wyatt family, and it's like they just go from one. I mean, that's the thing, Felix and me. They go from one thing to the other with this guy. There's no explanation. There's nothing.
No rhyme, no reason.
And there's never no ending to nothing. There's no resolution, no resolve to nothing. It's just he's like a Michael Myers, just terrorizing people, and you don't never get no explanation. Or maybe that's what he's supposed to be. Maybe he's supposed to be a mythical serial terrorizer that's just terrorizing people. There's no rhyme, no reason, whether there's an end to it or not. He just gets to move on to the next thing. And yet, but this is the most important part about it, yet he remains WWE's one of their most intriguing characters.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because personally, if you ask me, who on the roster am I truly like a fan of, I'd be lying if I didn't tell you what's Bray Wyatt, because I'm a Wyatt family fan. I mean, when he cuts his promos, you're like, what the hell is he talking about? But yet he still does it so good, it don't even make a damn difference.
Nope.
But you know what? I mean, that the mystique is part of it. You never know, what's going to happen. You never know, where he's coming from. A lot of times he comes out and cuts these promos. You don't know who the heck he's talking about or to. So it's a build-up because now you're trying to figure it out or you can't wait to see. So it's always that mystery. And you never know what's going to happen with him. You never know what he's going to do next. So, I mean, they need to take a clue from that. I mean, they're doing great when it comes to writing for him, but the rest of the show,
Yeah, I mean, you're right in the sense of, I mean, he's one of the things of the show that really captivate, but still, I mean, you just don't know, where they're going with him from. Because when he's done with The Undertaker and Kane, what's next? I mean, who's he going after next? Now, I will say this. I believe that Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, or Eric Rowan and Braun Strowman, or however, or Bray Wyatt and any of them, if you put them in the title run picture, I believe that they would take the tag titles and they would hold on to them for a very long time, because collectively, any combination of a tag team or a faction or whatever, those guys really, really dominate in the WWE, and that's one thing they do. And if they ever decided to make a run for the titles, yeah, I think they would get and keep it for a real long time.
I think so.
Now, speaking of titles in the WWE, Dreamy Mimi, has the Divas division picked up any?
They're trying.
They are trying.
They're trying. I'm still not a fan, so, and I know some, especially my friend's son, he would have a fit hearing me say this. Little Christian is such a Divas fan. He watches Total Divas. He loves the Divas division. But I'm just still not convinced. Then they came out with the whole, bringing out supposedly bringing things back around to wrestling. But then they quickly slipped off of that slope and went into a bunch of backbiting, gossiping, and just stupid stuff. It's unnecessary. So, yeah, I don't know. Because I don't know, Paige doesn't know which way she wants to go. And I don't think they know what to do with her. Because they brought her out so quick and gave her the title twice. Now she's kind of like stuck in the middle because she's not the new girl anymore. They just brought out, 3 more? So,
Yeah. But that's the thing, Felix. I think, I've said this. I've been saying this about this whole generation going on. Aren't they handing these titles out just just a bit quick? Aren't they just too free given with the titles? And is it because the title just doesn't mean anything anymore? And I don't care which title you're talking about. See, I've said this to you, Dreamy, time and time again. During the Generation era, the Attitude era, and every era before that, the title actually meant something. When you had the world title, you were the main event. You were what put asses in the seats. That's what people came to see. Right now, Seth Rollins against I don't give a damn who is not going to sell out AT&T Stadium in Dallas. It's just not. And they know that. Charlotte versus I don't give a damn who is not going to fill up the whole bottom section at Madison Square Garden. It's just not. So maybe that's why they just so free willing to give Alberto Del Rio the U.S. Championship as soon as he walked his Mexican ass back in the door. No offense, Philip. As soon as he walked his ass back in the door.
No offense taken. Hey, Oscar, I did want to let you know real quick that we do have a caller specifically asking to speak to you when you're ready.
Okay. All right, yeah. Caller, hello.
Okay.
Sure. Hey, Oscar.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's Elio.
Hey, Elio, what's happening, man?
Not too much. Just called in to say happy birthday.
I appreciate that, man. And I hope I have many more. Thanks for calling.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, Elio.
All right.
All right, bye-bye.
Just say your name is Austin Porsche. We love you, man. You can't hide that voice from here.
No, that wasn't Austin. I can't hear that.
Hell.
No, that's my backup Elio.
Yeah, but I mean that's the reason why they so free giving with the title. Because like I said, that's why the New Day black ass was holding the title so long. If the tag titles meant something, somebody who means something would have it. And if the titles were what the titles were back in the 90s, in the 2000s, in the 80s, I guarantee you, Dreamy, Seth Rollins would not be the champion right now. I almost promise you that.
Well, I've been saying that too. Time and time again, I've said that. The difference is the storylines were wrapped around the titles. Whoever was on top with whatever title, not just one title, but all of the titles held meaning. So it was like anybody else that didn't have a title wanted the title. So there were multiple people that they could set up as rivals or whatever against them to try to take the title. So it just made for just more excitement, more storylines, just a nicer variety. But now I don't know what they're doing.
Well, whatever it is, those of us that are fans, we just simply can't look away. And those of us who are pundits of the situation, we can't look away anyway, because it's our responsibility to keep on watching, and for better or for worse, keep reporting on it. So we're gonna be, we gonna be in the mix. So we're gonna be in there. And Dreamy, I just want to let you know, your BFF is calling my phone. I don't know if she's trying to call you, but she's definitely trying to call me.
It's your birthday.
Oh,
that's right. She's not trying to call me.
Yeah, all right, I'm just letting you know, because I thought she might have been trying to holler at you or whatever. But
no, you just said it's my BFF. She knows my phone number very well.
But I just love it. Yep, 52 years old today. I'm celebrating on my show. Yay! Pop the champagne. I went to Golden Corral today, which is one of my 4 last meals I'm going to have because I know that Diamond Dallas is going to change my diet dramatically. And I am going to stick to it. You know, it's a thing to where when it comes down to this, because in the back of my mind, I don't know how I'm going to do it. When I stand up, my leg hurts real bad. I mean, I walk from here to the bathroom and I'm breathing heavy. I'm tired. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but, you know, my mind is made up that I have got to make a change. I want to feel
You're going
better.
to do it one step at a time.
I want to feel better. I want to breathe better. I want to be able to walk the mall and walk the amusement park and jog and do all kind of, you know, do all kind of freaking things when the time is right and all that other kind of stuff like that. I just want to change in my life. I want to feel good. I don't feel good being this fat. And when you don't feel good, then it's just, you got to make up in your mind that you got to struggle and do what you got to do just so you can feel better. So that's the first thing. You know, get your mind right. Your mind, because if your mind say, I don't want to do it, I'm fine the way I am. I'm going to survive. I'm going to make it. Pass me another piece of chicken. Make another pitch of Kool-Aid and make sure it's extra sweet. Then you're just going to get bigger and bigger, and you're going to feel worse and worse and worse, and eventually you're going to wind up, as doctors and everybody else will tell you, you're going to check out early because, you know, your heart can only take so much. And that's another thing. You know, I will say on my show tonight, I really have a fear of dying. You know, of dying early. You know, I'm grateful and prayerful and thankful that I've made it, but the reality is I'm 52 years old. I have lost a lot of friends and a lot of family younger than me who have not made it to this age, and I hear about people that are around this age and a little bit older, a little bit younger, checking out. They're in their late 40s, early 50s, and they have just, you know, given up and died and whatever, and I don't want to die yet. It's just things that I want to do, you know.
What you think?
And I'm just, you know, just ready to make that commitment and make that change. And, you know, I am a true believer in the Lord, and the Lord has hooked us up with Diamond Dallas. And so when the stars line up and everything like that, be obedient and see it through. And you know what? It may not be as hard as half my mind think it is. I believe that you start out at a certain pace that's manageable. And Phyllis, you know this. You start out at a pace, it's not easy, but you start off at a pace that's realistic for you, and as time goes by and you do more, you can do more, right?
Absolutely. You have more flexibility. Your endurance builds up, and your strength, you feel muscles starting to build where you were sagging at first. You know, you had the sagging chest. You start to build muscle. You get pecs. Start to look bigger. You're starting to get muscular. So, yeah,
and I know, I know that muscular show don't look good, ain't it, Dreamy?
Now you know Mimi would love her man to be muscular, but she loves you no matter what. So.
Yeah, I know, but see, I'm be moving my chest like Terry Crews.
Oh, wow.
Oh, look at them pecs, look at them abs, look at that 14-pack Oscar got going on. Come here, woman.
Wow.
Yep, the future certainly does look bright. The future looks bright.
Oh, so I did want to mention too that we're actually, I don't know if Mimi knows. Are you guys are obviously going to be in Dallas? I was talking to Oscar a couple of weeks ago. Although I wasn't able to get a WrestleMania package, I am going to be down in Dallas, and I'm looking forward to meeting up with you guys and having fun.
Okay.
And I told you, don't worry about a thing. We all going to the same. When we go, you gonna go. We got a WrestleMania ticket. I can't say your fat butt, but you gonna have a WrestleMania ticket. You going to WrestleCon. You going to you going wherever we going. If you in Dallas and we in Dallas, you family. You gonna eat when we eat. You gonna go when we go. You gonna hang out when we hang out. You gonna be at my table at WrestleCon. You gonna have a good time. So don't even sweat the technique. You gonna be all right.
Well,
we gonna make sure.
I'm gonna make sure that if Mimi wants to join, she can do this. But I'm gonna make sure I take you up on the treadmill for about maybe a 2-mile walk or a 3-mile walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that
definitely. Yep.
By that time, I'm gonna be able to do it. Matter of fact, we gonna work out together. Because our hotel. The hotel we stay, they got a state-of-the-art gym in there, so we can definitely go in there and work it out.
All right. And don't be afraid to take your DDP Yoga DVD with you anywhere you go, because you can even do it in the privacy of your own room.
I'm gonna have my DDP Yoga DVD. That's right, everywhere I go, because every day when I get up, I'm going to start rising up early in the morning. I mean, it's just like I said, it's going to be a whole different me. Because right now, unless I got something to do, I can sleep till noon easy. And so,
tell me about it.
Like I said, I'm sick of my life. I'm going to be getting up when the crack of dawn come up, the sun. I'm gonna have my Rocky soundtrack and my new headphones. That inspires you. That Rocky music will make you walk or run further than what you think you can. I don't know. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but I mean, I found this out years ago. That there Rocky music will make you have a heart attack, because it'll make you think you can do stuff that you really can't do.
Talk about running in 12 feet of snow? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, you ran a mile and be done swooped over with a heart attack, throwing up, and don't know why that music is still going. You think you Superman. I'm dead serious. That Rocky music is inspiring, because you get to, I mean, it's like people who used to play MC Hammer records and think they doing something on the dance floor, look stupid as hell, but they got them Hammer videos in their mind and think they really doing a moonwalk or the Hammer Pants dance or something.
And don't let them have the pants on.
That damn music will have you thinking you're Superman. Yeah.
Oscar, Mimi, we have a caller from your guys' area code. Her name is Siobhan, and she's calling in she has a message for Oscar. So go ahead. You're on with Oscar and Mimi.
Hi, hello. Oscar. I just want to say happy birthday, and I love you very much.
Well, thank you. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm great, and you?
I'm fine. Well, we got you on the show. Did you have a good time in the ATL?
Yes, I had a wonderful time. Absolutely great.
Well, that's good. We was glad to have you there. Dreamy, your BFF is calling in the Nacho Mamas radio show. How about that?
Hey, hi.
Hi, Dreamy. How are you?
I'm good. You still working?
I'm just pulling up at home.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Well, I really appreciate you calling. I mean, I love you to death. Thank you for coming. And the next time we surprise Mimi and tell her about it, we going someplace even more exciting than this, okay?
All right. Thank you. Love you guys.
All right, honey. Thank you.
Right. Have a good night.
All right. That was sweet. It's good to be loved.
Keep the calls coming in, folks. It's Oscar's birthday, and he's feeling the love.
Wait a minute. I feel the love. Where's my BFF? He ain't called me.
if you need Mo, I think he's traveling.
Oh my God! I feel bad all of a sudden. Her BFF even called me, and my BFF says fuck me.
You know what?
Oh God, you just gotta love it. Hey, you know what? I do want to say, if he's listening, a shout out to Dan Marotti. That was a real surprise. That commercial.
Yeah.
Did that. That was really, really nice.
It was really good.
And I want
actually, if you guys weren't aware of it, it's actually the video that plays on your Indiegogo page.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to thank the 3 people that donated to the campaign right now. We have raised around $3 so far on our journey to whatever the hell the amount is that we raising for the DVD. So 3 people sent in $1. So $3 we done raised so far. We still got a few days left, so we'll see how that goes. But thank you. We're much appreciated.
Hey, well, you know what though? I got to ask though: is there a time limit on the Indiegogo, or how long is this going to be going?
The time limit said that we got like 4 or 5 days left. I mean, they set it to the day of the shooting of the DVD, which is on Monday.
Oh, okay.
Which, what we should have did was they should have put like no time limit on it and whatever, because sometimes it takes people a while, to even see these kinds of things. But maybe we'll try it again. You never know. But I don't put a lot of faith or stake in them things. I mean, if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. It's $1. It's $3 more than I had yesterday. So that's how.
That's true. And you got to definitely give big props to Dan, and he's been working like a workhorse these last few days. I don't know if you've been noticing, Oscar, but your Twitter has been blowing up like nobody's business. I mean, it's been going crazy. Absolutely. He's been sending out people to spread the word by retweeting it and to everybody and anybody who's got a Twitter. If you got a Twitter, Dan's going to find you, and if he does, he's going to ask you to retweet. So watch out. He's already tweeted me. He's already tweeted my personal one.
I mean, I've got to give him all the props in the world, because just like you, he's real deep. The Indiegogo campaign and the campaign that he launched for the start of the DVD was so well written, so meticulous, so well formatted that if I read it and didn't know Oscar, I'd want to send some money in, or I'd be curious about it. It was massively done. Have you seen it, Dreamy, the whole thing? Have you really gone through it?
No.
Yeah, it is done so well. I mean, that Dan Marotti really knows his stuff. So my big up and props to Dan for putting that together. We don't make a dime or nothing happens. It ain't from lack of trying, or it's not because it was one of the shoddy go-go campaigns that you ever seen. I personally don't know. I'm computer, illiterate. I don't, know about all that kind of stuff. But, people that do, like him, I mean, he really did an awesome job putting it together. So I can't thank him enough, for that. But speaking of Dan, Phil's going to interest you to know that we are going to be hanging out at John Cena next Wednesday.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, is this John Cena Sr. or John Cena Jr.?
John Cena Sr. Yeah, let me clarify. Yeah.
Got to make sure we know.
Going to be with us at the Legacy Concussion Institute dinner at the Revere Hotel in his hometown of Boston, Massachusetts, next Wednesday. Corey Graves is actually the MC. So
that's gonna be fun.
That should be pretty. That should be pretty exciting. Jimmy, you know who Corey Graves is, right?
Of course, I do.
No, I'm saying Dreamy knows.
No, I heard you. No, I don't think so.
You know the little skinny kid that's on commentary with Booker T before the pay-per-views come on.
What's his name?
Corey Graves.
No, I don't know.
If you're talking about the pre-shows to the pay-per-views, it's usually Renee Young, Booker T, Corey Graves, and I think Byron Saxton.
Right.
I didn't know who you were talking about.
Yeah, well, he's gonna be. He's the host. He's the host of the dinner this year. And
cool.
yeah, they're honoring a couple of former NFL players this year, and it should be pretty good. Now, last year Triple H was the host. I don't know if he's going to be there this year, but he was the host of it last year, and it was a pleasure seeing and hanging out with him for a bit. Dreamy got a picture. Everybody was envious of that because it was a picture of Dreamy and the Man, the Moss, Paul Levesque, Triple H. But yeah, it should be a pretty good, event again at the Revere Hotel in Boston. It's going to be next Wednesday, the 4th. Downtown Boston, Massachusetts, and at our table. We're not even going to be at his table. He's going to be at our table. How's that for? It's going to be John Cena Sr. See, that's the big shots that we are now, Cena Sr., no, we're not at his table. He's at our table. We invited him. There you go. So when I want him to tell his son to come to my kid's 8th birthday party, you remember Cena Sr., I had you at my table, and I fed you that night. So, all right, you owe me one. So, yeah, you know what? I'm going to tell Cena Sr., you know what? I know in your closet you got a lot of nice toys and big Cena dolls and stuff like that so I can give some kids for Christmas. Why don't you hook a brother up? Because, your friends out in Connecticut, they've been slacking lately. Speaking of that, we do have a topic to discuss. I had a talk with Marty Jannetty the other day, and I had a talk I had another talk with the counsel for WWE, the lawyers. Something come up now. They want to call and they call me up and want to give my opinion on things. All of a sudden, I can't wait to cash in these favors. It all started with the whole Cassandra Frazier situation. We're not going to get into that. But their lawyers called to get my take on it, my side of the story. And
didn't she sign up with that lawsuit against WWE?
What's that?
Didn't she sign? She signed to be a part of that case against WWE?
So she really signed to be a part of it. She signed it. To be honest.
Oh God. Anyways, I'm sorry.
And then a whole bunch of people piggybacked off the situation. And now it's been blown up. Well, there's, I don't know if it has gotten started yet, but I spoke with Marty Jannetty the other day, and we were talking about royalties from the network, which is beginning to be a growing concern among the former talent that I talked to, and if it's the few that I've talked to, then I know that it's beginning to be a big deal. Apparently, there's an attorney in Boston that has started soliciting talent to begin the birth of a class action suit to start suing for the royalties when it comes down to the WWE Network. Now, whenever something like that happens, the WWE counsel, they take those things real serious because even though a lawsuit might be frivolous, like this concussion suit that everybody got going on, I suppose that happened 20 years, 8 promotions later they worked at, and now they suing WWE for a concussion that they may or may not have sustained, or if they sustained it, they could have sustained it anywhere from here to Mexico, but that's another story. But it is a concern about royalties from the network because the contract states, and most people have different provisions in their contracts, this, that, and the other. But the one constant is anything they do that has your likeness on it, they're supposed to pay you royalties for it, hands down. I mean, I don't care if the technology change or anything. They show you, then you're supposed to get it. Now, how much you're gonna get? Let's be realistic. The WWE Network has damn near every star that's ever worked there in the history of the planet. They got like 4,000 hours worth of footage, and they got video and shows that go back to the 70s, 80s. I mean, so even if you got a royalty for it, when are you gonna get a check to 8.9 cents? I mean, I can't even fathom the math. But I guess whatever it is, certain people feel like they're entitled. They want it because right now, the reality of it is, they're not paying anybody anything. They just raking in that $9.99 a month per subscriber and, whatever else the hell was going on with it. So you got people that take that personally, so people are starting to wonder about it when they wonder lawyers get involved. So the rumor is that there's a class action suit that's going to get started. So, one of the WWE lawyers talked to me and asked me if I heard something about it. I said, I hear rumors. I don't have any facts. I don't know that this is going on. I don't know that this is going on for a fact. But I did tell him, and I did tell him, and I meant this before I even talked to Money Jannetty. I did tell him, I don't know if it's going on, but if it's not going on, keep your eye out because it's going to. I mean, if they don't, I told him, let me give you my advice, and this is my advice. At least make a statement about it. If the statement is we're not going to give y'all a damn dime, go ahead and say that. If the statement is we're working on it, but my point is they need to say something. You can't seemingly rake in that kind of cash, everybody looking at you do it, and you just ignoring everybody like ain't nothing going on, ain't nothing happening. That's where the problems start. So if I'm them, and this is exactly what I've told them, you guys need to get in front of this and at least address it some kind of way. That's the best thing you can do right now. You can even say we haven't broken even yet. We haven't figured out the solution of how to break these royalties down yet, but say something. That's just like somebody in your store just taking your stuff and walking out the door, and they're not even saying, they're not even filling out an IOU. They just, they need to say something. Dreamy, was that good advice or no? You're the voice of reason.
I definitely think that they need to make a statement. I completely agree with what you just said. I don't know. It's a messy situation.
Yeah. I mean,
Oscar, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something real quick. Did you? I think I might have asked you this, but forgive me if I'm not remembering great. Were you, and maybe even Mo, I'm not sure if you know if he has or not, but were you approached by Billy Jack and those in that particular lawsuit?
No, I was not. No, not at all.
Because they've gone as far as trying to approach even people like China. Because I know I can say this because I helped run her page with her team, and I seen a message from him in particular asking about that particular lawsuit against WWE. And they've gotten Blackjack Mulligan, Ivan Koloff, just to name a couple, and then of course Billy Jack is running it along with Matt Bourne's family. But yeah, I was just I don't know if anybody else has that approach.
No, I was not. My involvement in that whole thing was I got a call from them, and they wanted to get my take on whether or not the Nelson Frazier Mabel's involvement in that lawsuit through Cassandra, and they wanted my opinion whether or not that held any water. That was the extent of my involvement. Did I ever see him hit his head? Did he complain of headaches when we were around? Those kinds of questions. And then some questions about, her character as far as, being a a credible person to even launch a lawsuit on his behalf? Those are the kinds of questions that I was asked. And I told them, I'm not going to get into everything I said, but I'll say this much. When I'm asked these kinds of things, I tell them up front, I'm not a person that's going to defend the company if the company is in the wrong. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say, the company needs to pay out some kind of royalty for the network. Or I'm going to say, I think he might have had some head problems, and the company should do this, that, and if they're right, they're right. I'm gonna say it. If they're not right, or put it like this: if they are right, and these lawsuits are frivolous or anything, I'm gonna, in my opinion, that's what I'm gonna say. And in this case, both cases, right now, I'm defending WWE because, like I said, the extent of the network situation, say something about it. Should you pay out a bunch of money right now? I don't even see how they can do it because I don't even believe that they've even broken even because it has to have taken a monumental amount of money to launch this thing and keep it going.
Yep.
You are not making the kind of money right now, giving away all these pay-per-views, especially WrestleMania, damn near for free, with everybody, with you taking a gamble that everybody's going to sign up for the network. I think they were doing freaking great when it was on pay-per-view, and people were paying $69.99 every time it came on. Yeah, they were making millions. So, and I'm the last one to want to defend $1 billion juggernaut when I'm struggling to pay my rent every month. But right is right, wrong is wrong, and common sense is common sense. So all we can do, people, is see how these things unfold, and we will keep you updated. That's all I can say. Unlike who is that? Sean Stasiak said, maybe we'll all get a sushi dinner out of it, but that's just about it, and I'll be shocked if I even get that. That was the funniest answer to the network thing I ever heard, so I constantly say that because that's hilarious. But to me, that's about what it's all going to boil down to by the time you do the math.
I understand.
So, anyway, our dance card has been pretty, we had a pretty relaxed summertime, Dreamy and I, and it all got ratcheted up and made up for at SummerSlam. But the wintertime, as soon as the chill got out, it's been nonstop going. I'm not even gonna lie. Grateful for being busy. We just need to generate some cash around here. But other than that, it's beginning to look like the winter 2014. We were going every week, building an equilibrium. Now we're working on that, working on this network, working on networking and giving these conventions a shot and, going to the pay-per-views and the live shows firsthand and all other kind of stuff like that so we can be better journalists. So, the future's optimistic. It'll look bright. We're going to meet old Felix down there in Dallas. Because Felix and I we had a ball down there in San Jose last year. I did, definitely. We expressed our excitement the way that we should, but yeah, we had a blast down in San Jose. And you know what, Felix? I think we're going to have an even better time in Dallas.
I do too, and I can't say this enough as far as how memorable it ended for me. Leaving San Jose, getting to meet Hot Rod out of the blue in an airport, such an amazing man, a heart of gold, and I will, even if it, as silly of a place to meet, meeting him definitely was the highlight to the end of my trip, and I'll never forget it. And I miss him all the time.
yeah, that has got to be special, you know, him passing, you know, soon after that. But at least you can be one of the people that can say that you physically were touched, you know, by interaction with a legend like that, you know, before we lost him. I mean, that's got to be, you know, really special. And for you to say that was the highlight, that's really beautiful, man. I mean, you know, as a guy that knew, you know, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, you know, I never would have expected it, and that's putting it up there next to getting the opportunity to meet Bobby the Brain Heenan. He was somebody I've been dying to meet for years, and especially as his health took a turn, you know, as crazy as a life he's had, he's still in there. He's still meeting fans. I love Bobby, and his wife is such a sweetheart, and it was just an awesome time to get a chance to meet him. And I got to meet him. And, you know, people will say what you want about him because he doesn't look the same, but he is still, at heart, he is still Bobby Heenan at heart. And that's all.
You know, what it speaks to, it's a thing when in life, when you get to meet your idols and legends and people that you are truly affected, that is, I mean, because you see these people on TV, you hear them on the radio. I have been blessed to be a part of the entertainment and sports business for many, many moons. And in that journey, just about everybody who I've ever wanted to meet, I've been blessed to meet them. You know, and only a couple of experiences, you know, were bad. You know, I was a big Knight Rider fan. And as a kid, I met David Hasselhoff, and he was an asshole to me. I was just a kid, and I mean, that was an experience that I mean, it just ruined me. But life goes full circle because years later, I became a rapper, and I was actually rapping at a big-time event that he was one of the guest honors at. You know, I got to tell him. He was like, "Well, you sure did a good job rapping." He was like, "It was an honor to meet you." I was like, "It's an honor to meet you, too." It was an honor to meet you, too, when I was 11 years old, and we were on a plane together, and you were an asshole to me. And he had to apologize. He didn't remember it, but he had to say he was sorry. But I was glad to tell him. Another one, and this is a good one. When I was in grade school, I knew the name of the words to every Barry Manilow song that ever came out back there in the 70s. Oh, Mandy, I write the songs that make the whole world sing. I love Barry Manilow. Years later, I'm a rapping Santa Claus at the Colors of Christmas. It was Alan Jarreau. Valerie Harper, who played Rhoda at the time on TV, was the MC, and Barry Manilow was the special guest. So I go out there and do my little Santa rap just before he came in the building. Did the Santa rap, rock the crowd, rock the house, had a good time. Barry Manilow come in, he do one song, he come out with a whole entourage of people. I'm standing there in my Santa suit, and I have my hand out to shake his hand. That bastard slapped my hand away and kept on walking. I was crushed. I was right there like, oh, my God. I knew the words to every one of your damn songs when I was a kid. I'm standing here in my freaking Santa Claus suit, and you just going to slap my hand and walk away, you funny-nosed bastard. And the worst one was Madonna. I met Madonna, wanted to shake Madonna's hand. This bitch had her security escort me out the club.
Oh, geez.
But anyway, those are the three, you know, those are the three people. Everybody else, and I mean everybody else, from Frank Sinatra to Bobby Brown, everybody else was just cool as a fan, you know. You know them, you interact with them, you meet them. They appreciate what you do and all that other kind of stuff like that. But them three experiences, yeah, them. Well, I'll say two, because David Hasselhoff, you know, he made up for it because, you know, my longtime manager and mentor, Joel Diamond, he produced his music career, and, you know, we got to be kindred spirits. Speaking of speaking of this whole thing, I had a roommate years ago for a hot minute. There were two Corys back in the 90s that were famous, Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. Corey Haim was my roommate. Corey Haim was my roommate. Now, Dreamy, you saw Corey Haim on TV just the other day, and lighten us with a hot mess he is today.
That was a mess. This man, he looked a mess, and then it's like, okay, you're not really doing anything now, currently, but his lifestyle has definitely not changed. He has found a way to make sure that he's good as far as financially. First of all, he had the nerve to say, people tell me that I remind them of Michael Jackson all the time. I kind of look like him, I dress like him, I act like him. Oh, and my music sounds like his. I'm like, really?
Oh, wow.
Why are you selling out? Right, that's a big stretch. He has young ladies that are from broken homes and just low self-esteem and things like that, that are getting into, that are actors and models and things like that. And he's bringing them into his home. He makes them sign a contract. They're his angels. They live with him. They're not allowed to wear real clothes. They don't wear jeans. They wear lingerie around the house all day. They're only allowed to eat fruit, and they have to exercise daily. And this is the thing with the contract. Anything that they get involved in, any jobs they get, he basically gets a percentage like an agent.
Oh my God!
So this is
like a pimp.
Like a pimp, yeah. So basically, this is what's funding his lifestyle now. He looks a mess, and his ideals are ridiculous. And I'm looking at this man, and I'm like, "You 40-some years old, dude? Really?" Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Corey Haim shared a big house in Hancock Park with our manager, Michael Bass. And, that didn't last long, but it lasted. I tried to get him on the straight and narrow. I was actually a good influence on him, but, he was a mess back then. But he was still a kid, though. But he was doing some impressive stuff. He was getting scripts from Stephen King, and, but as Dreamy said, I haven't seen or heard from him. And God, I didn't even know whether he was living or dead. But, he's a mess. But anyway, it all goes down to full circle. I'm glad that your meeting with Hot Rod just turned out to be, something memorable or something monumental, because it is so easy to get disillusioned by your idols, people that you really see on TV, you really want to meet, and then you meet them, they turn out to be assholes. And that just crushed 15, 20 years of what you ever thought of this person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can vouch for that too. You can vouch for that too, because you knew Hot Rod, and you knew what kind of man he was. So you know that no matter what kind of day he was having, he would always greet you with a smile and hug you and just have a warm heart and care for people. And that's
It goes back to what I've been saying about the lessons that today's roster of WWE superstars need to learn, study, consider, and they really need to really take it to heart, because I've been around enough events in the last year just to see how they operate. And for a large percentage of them to ignore the fans and walk by them and act like, I'll give you a straight example personally of what I'm talking about. Dreamy and I ran into Natalia, and it wasn't a long conversation. but it was a sweet conversation. Natalia knew my relationship with her father, Jim and Andrew Neidhart. She knew about my relationship with Brett and Owen. She knew who I was and appreciated, me even stopping by to even speak to her, introduce myself, because I had never met her before. At the same time, Titus O'Neil was passing by. I said hi to him. He barely spoke and kept on walking. The next day when she saw me, she said, I really apologize about how Titus acted yesterday because I pulled him to the side and I told him who you was. I told him that was a real bad thing you did yesterday because dude is a legend. And you walked by, you didn't even know who he was or nothing like that, but that dude is a legend and you just blew him off like anything. And my point is, if he did that to me, how does he treat other people?
Yes.
But what I'm trying to say is, it's like in San Jose, Seth Rollins. I'm standing there signing autographs for the fans. Seth pull up in his SUV. He get out. People are yelling, Seth, Seth, Seth. He don't even turn around or even just wave at the people. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you guys really don't have a clue. You guys are really clueless. I mean, you guys. I mean, and the only ones that were really like taking pictures with the fans in that hotel lobby with them people paying $500-$600 a night to stay at that Fairmont. Which I say this: if I'm at a $500-$600 a night hotel with WWE superstars, that fact alone should make me a damn VIP. But they just going through the lobby fast, some with security by them, walking real fast, rushing by people, not even making eye contact with nobody, and one straight line going to the elevator. That's bullshit. The only ones that's stopping and interacting with the fans are people who are seasoned and know better, like Bret Hart, like Sting, like Taker, me. They don't want to, Kevin Nash. They don't want to really. They want to meet us, all right. But they really don't. They want to meet y'all. You main roster people. That's what the technique is down. He used to ask me years ago, why was that?
Okay, he's drifting off. Mimi, can you hear him?
Barely. We can barely hear you.
I'm wondering if he can.
We can barely hear you.
You started trailing off, man.
Yeah. Okay. Do me a favor.
We can hear you.
My phone's tripping. Give me a second, people. My phone's acting up. All right, there we go.
Oh, much better.
See if you can figure out where he plug up at, because I can't find it. Another reason why is because I really don't feel like main roster people have nothing to contribute, because they really can't tell no stories. They really can't shoot on the radio. And anything they do is going to be, they're going to be cutting a promo for WWE. That's not the kind of interview I want to have, but that's what they got to do right now. Former talent that's not under contract, your legends and your people from back in the day that are not under the thumbs of the company, they're going to give you a better interview because they can tell you the truth and they can tell you how things really are, as the main roster people cannot. So who wants to really do that? I don't want to hear that you're going to take out Bray Wyatt in Bridgeport, Connecticut next Saturday. All right, I'll read about it and see it and whatever else. But, it all goes full circle to the fact, Felix, that I'm glad you got to meet Roddy Piper. He's a hell of a swell guy, was anyway. I'm sorry that he's gone. It was Pat Piper a couple of weeks back. Thank you for that, because, I remember when Pat when Pat came on the scene. Pat was an amazing talent in the fact that he could imitate anybody, and his imitation of Piper back then was spot on, and it was real entertaining and real, really good.
Now, I don't know if I asked you this. Were you able to meet up with Pat back then when you guys were in Boston?
No, you know what? I tried to give Pat a call when I was there, but he did say that he had a work schedule, work thing going on. So, I didn't get a chance to see him. I mean, I'll reach out to him. Again, this weekend because I'm going to get ready to go back down there in the next day and a half or so. Okay. Reach out to him again and see if he's, available to come by and, at least, say what's up because I'd love to see him, while I'm out that way. But,
sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a really, really, really good hot time in Boston this winter. It's not that I'm ungrateful or I don't like Boston, but I sure wish this time of year we start having stuff in Hawaii or even Orlando or Jamaica, the Bahamas, someplace like that. We didn't really do nothing this summer. But now that winter done ratcheted up, it's like we going from one cold weather to colder weather. So that's my only complaint. But other than that, I'm grateful for the travel, grateful to get out. It was good to be in Atlanta because Atlanta weather was nice and mild. We can wear short sleeves and enjoy good weather. But yeah, here in the Indiana, Chicago area. It's starting to get cold outside. Old man winter starting to show up. He's showing up slow, but he's showing up. It's going to be real cold out tonight. We got to bundle up around here.
It's starting to get cold around here, too.
Last night it was in the 30s.
I know, right?
It was pretty frosty. We had the heat. I mean, when you have to have the heat on, then you know it's wintertime. The air conditioner is out of commission for the season.
I'm sitting in my house with a jacket on and a blanket.
Well, I do have the heat on 75.
It's still cold. Oh, I'm sorry.
But, yeah, like I said, to reiterate what we said earlier, starting to wrap things up for this week. November 13th, Saturday the 13th, is the new show, Conversations with Dr. Dave, the launch of Dr. David Reese's talk show, beginning of the year on a television show network near you. Is going to be a program, Not Your Mama's TV, and the Conversation with Dr. Dave TV spot. We got the Indiegogo thing going on, thanks to Dan Marati. And Philip Salvado is just godsend. He's the guy that just keeps us going, keeps us moving forward. We appreciate him. DDP Yoga, you are going to map my journey as we are mapping Philip's journey to the weight loss and big health and wellness journey that I'm getting ready to undertake starting the first of next month. So we're going to see how that's going to go. So it's just about to get real exciting here. Not Your Mama's Radio. Mimi, you have any closing comments? We can't see you shaking your head, dear.
No, I don't have any closing comments.
All right, are you ready to go? You ready to fly off the bar? Oh, wait a minute. Speaking of things, tell us how you're celebrating Halloween with the kids this year. Hallelujah night you've been working on.
I'm doing a Hallelujah party on Saturday. We're setting up like terrible days in the church. We've broken down all of the chairs and our husbands out of the sanctuary. And now we're setting up council games and we got a ton of prizes. And each kid will leave with a candy bag. And we've got food, hot dogs and juice and stuff. So we'll have a fun time.
Hot dogs and chips and juices. They come again. Okay.
Momma.
Okay, well, Yeah, we can't wait for that. We're going to have hot dogs today, and we all going to TV. So, all right. Hallelujah Night at Progressive Community Church. That's going to be Saturday, October 31st. What time is that? From 2 to 4? From 2 to 4. So if you're listening and you're in this area, yeah, Siobhan, if you're still listening, bring your nieces and nephews and all the kids you know over to Progressive Community Church. It's going to be a real fun time. Well, the fastest 2 hours of the radio has come to a close once again. Next week, I promise we will have a guest, but we had so much to talk about, so much to catch up on, because we have been on hiatus all this time. So we have had a whole lot going on, a whole lot of catching up to do. But next Thursday, we will be back with who God knows who, but it's going to be somebody exciting. Not Your Mama's Radio Show for Phil Salmedo, Dreamy Mimi, Oscar, and sometimes Mo. Good night.
Happy Halloween, guys, and see you next week.
Thank you. Hey, happy Halloween.